All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power, and the prejudging for the 2022 New York Pro just wrapped up. And I think the results here look interesting. So what you're looking at right now is the top four, or what appears to be the top four after prejudging. Now, my initial thoughts on this are basically what everybody thought was going to happen once they saw the final competitor list for this show. It looks to me like Blessing is going to take the win here kind of easily. I would be very, very surprised if Blessing does not win this show. Now, your top four is going to be Blessing Awodibu, Max Charles, Andre Presti, who is in the blue posing trunks, and Theo Laguerriere, who is in the black posing trunks. Now, based on the way that I've seen them move these guys around, I think it looks to me like there's a possibility that Andre Presti, who's in the blue, the light blue posing trunks, he looks to me like he's going to be in second place. To me, he looked really impressive in all the callouts that he was in. He looked really impressive in his individual routine. And honestly, I think he looked better than both Max Charles and Theo Laguerriere. I think Max is probably going to end up in third, and Theo will probably end up in fourth. So I think the final placings here are going to be Blessing is going to win the show. I really don't think there's much room to argue with that. Based on what we've seen here, he was the clear winner. Now, the big question mark here, and I'll play you guys a clip from the first call-out, was Justin Rodriguez. Would he improve from the Indy Pro? Now, to be honest with you guys, I actually do feel that Justin looked better here in New York than he looked at the Indy Pro. That being said, I think after prejudging, it's pretty clear that Justin is outside of the top four. He was not in that final four call-out with Blessing, Theo, Andre, and Max. In fact, he was in a separate call-out, which I believe was to determine who was going to be in the top six and who wasn't. So even though I do think Justin looked tighter here than he looked in Indy, it apparently still was not good enough to be in the conversation for the win, and it looks like it might not be good enough to be in the conversation for the top four, which is not good for Justin. I mean, think about it. He just went from top six at the Arnold Classic, runner-up to William Bonac at the Boston Pro, one of the best bodybuilders in the world right now, to potentially not even being in the top six. I think he will be in the top six here, by the way, but he was in the call-out. The three guys that he was in the call-out with was basically to decide who was not going to be in the top six. So Justin is slipping a little bit, but overall, I think Blessing looked about the same as he looked in Indy. I think Max looked a little bit sharper at the Indy Pro Finals than he looked here at the New York Pro prejudging. And I think, honestly, Andre Presti, the guy in the blue trunks with the tattoos, I think he's going to be second. I think he looked really impressive here. He was the guy that really stood out the most to me besides Blessing. Like I said, Max looks good. He's probably in the conversation. It's probably close between Max and Andre. But right now, my opinion of prejudging, I think it's going to be Blessing in first, Andre in second, Max in third. I think you're going to have Theo in fourth, and I think Justin will probably take fifth place unless he has a massive transformation, a massive improvement for the finals. Maybe he could squeeze his way into the top four. Like I said, I do think he improved. I think he looks better here than he looked in Indy. So maybe there's a chance if he looks better at finals, he could wind up in that fourth place spot. But based on these callouts, I don't see him doing a whole lot better than that. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Who's going to win? What are the placings going to be? What do you think of the show overall, the quality of competitors? Let me know. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already. And as always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.